Hey everyone, it's Talia here. Welcome back to another video on my channel. Today I have for you the new KoKo and Claire Sunshine and Sparkles collection. It is a 7-piece collection featuring a bunch of fine glitters. So I'm going to show you guys how they swatch on my little hand here, as well as do a little demo of kind of like a glitter ombre using 2 of the colors from the collection. First glitter is called Prissy Papaya, and Prissy Papaya is kind of like a burnt orange sparkle. Now when you're using fine glitter gel polish sparkles like this, you're gonna notice they don't go on super pigmented. I find this with any brand that I have used that uses these really fine sparkles. It's almost like the first layer of your swatching is kind of just to like build your foundation, because once you do the second layer, all that glitter just kind of pops and it builds a lot more. Sometimes I like to do a little bit of a thicker coat when I'm doing a gel polish swatch like this, just to get the glitter a little bit more concentrated. But I'm gonna say this multiple times through this video, just ignore the first coat because the second one just really makes this color. So once I go in with my second coat here, you can see how it builds it up to be a lot more concentrated. And that's when you start to notice that this color has some orange, has some yellow, has some golds, has a whole bunch of different small fine glitters in it. Now another way that you can use fine glitters like this in a gel polish is to just do them over top of a color, which is all I wanted to do in this little clip here, is just show you that you can build them on top of a color nicely as well. And this is what Prissy Papaya looks like. So you can see that it's kind of like a multi-dimensional fine glitter sparkle. There's a lot of different colors and shades to this, and for me, I picture this to be a great summer color. Next up we have number 159, Sassy Salmon, and this is a salmony pink, but there are some silver fine sparkles in here as well. So again, when we're doing our first layer here, it's just kind of to get that base going with it. You can see that it's not coming out super sparkly, but that is one thing that I find with any gel polish brand that I have used that uses these fine sparkles. It's kind of give or take. Like if they use a foil or they put some pigment in with the color as well, then it swatches a little bit more pigmented, I find. But in this particular case, these glitter swatches, the second coat is where you get like the true power of the glitter, I guess you can say, and you can see the glitter come through a lot more. I really like the pink shade that this is. To me, it definitely seems like a salmony pink color, but there's also some gold and some silver sparkle to it, which give it a really nice dimension. Next up we have number 160, Lush Lavender. I love these type of shades of glitter. I love that there's so many different colors, but it still has like a purple tone to it. Whenever I say that there's like a party on the nails, these are the type of colors and glitters that I mean, where they've got so much going on to it. So this one, that's the first coat, went on a little bit more pigmented than the other ones that I showed you guys previously. But again, it's the second coat here that really just gives it some good glitter dimension. I love that there's some greens in here. There's some turquoise, there's some golds, there's some pink, there's some reds, there's purple obviously. And when you tie all those colors together, that purple really pops. The nice thing about sparkles like this is you can pair this with literally any color. This type of glitter I find to be so versatile. You can put it with a whole bunch of different greens. You can put it with pink nails, anything like that. There's just so much you can do with these. I also love stamping on top of these glitters as well, because then it kind of tones down the wildness that these sparkles are. But so much you can do with this type of shade. Number 161 is Magnificent Mint. I am all about these type of shades lately. To me, they kind of remind me of like a spearmint green type of color, but this one in particular has quite a bit of yellow to it. So for me, I think of spring floral nails when I look at this type of a green. I could picture this type of green done with some really nice yellow nails, and then do some accents with some florals on it, or even just do it with yellow nails and this as a green accent nail, I think would be fantastic. This one I found applied similar to the Lush Lavender, that as soon as you got that second coat, it really just kind of pulled everything together, and it was a lot more pigmented with the fine glitters. But I was really curious to see how this one would do with 3 coats, so I did decide to go in with a 3rd coat just to give it a little bit more pop with the glitter, and I was really happy with how that applied with it. I just love the layer on layer look with fine glitters like this when you do multiple coats. The next sparkle is called Precious Pink, and this is a pink base with a lot of silver tones to it, making it look more like a cool toned pink. When I look at shades like this, I just think of like a precious pink. Like, to me, it looks like just such a fine, delicate color. I love that there are some like light pink colors to it, some medium pink, some dark pink to it as well. And then the pop of silver in it really just ties it all together. So here we are doing our first coat here. And I do find, especially when you're painting on like plastic tips like this, sometimes when you paint a coat, it kind of removes what you just put down. But when you're painting on like real life nails, it applies a little bit differently as well. So this one I went in with 2 coats and I found that to be really concentrated, and I was really happy with how that came together. Number 163 is called Starlight. Now, the last 2 shades in this collection are some of those see-through glitters that are fantastic for glitter fades. They're fantastic for applying over top of colors or other sparkles, which is how you're going to see me demonstrate these at the end. Now, this one has that iridescent green type of tinge to it, so depending on how the light hits it, it's going to be a different shade. And this one I was actually expecting it to go on super, super sheer, which it does here, but when you get the second coat on, it actually was super pigmented. Because it's one of those clear glitters, I really didn't expect this to be as concentrated as this particular glitter ended up being, and I was really happy with it. These type of glitters are also great for winter nails and doing like snowflake designs with them too, so this is a type of color that'll take you through a bunch of different seasons. Number 164, Aurora, is another one of these clear glitter gel polishes, and this one has a little bit more chunky glitters to it, and it goes on, I guess, a little bit more see-through than the last one, as you guys can see here. These ones are some of my favorite for doing like glitter fade type of nails, or just applying over top of something if you wanted like a flat color to be a sparkle. This is the type of shade that I would gravitate towards because it's not going to completely change the look of the color that it is underneath it. That is the Sunshine and Sparkles collection from KoKo and Claire. So it's some really nice fine sparkles, but you have to be a little bit strategic in how you work with these type of fine glitters in order to make them super concentrated. For the demo portion of the video, I wanted to show you guys how to use these fine glitters to do kind of like an ombre look. So let's get started. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of Magnificent Mint, and I'm just going to paint a small little bit on the left side of the swatch stick here. And before I cure it, I'm going to go in with some of the Lush Lavender and paint it on the furthest edge of the nails and gradually bring it in so that both of the wet gel polishes kind of touch each other. This way it'll make it look like a nice blended look, and I'm going to cure that. So you can really only do this type of technique, I find, with glitter gel polishes, because if you try and do this exact same thing using the same brushes with a color gel, it's just gonna like mix and kind of make a mess. There's a different way to do ombre when you're using colors, but with glitters I find it quite a bit easier. So I did decide to do 3 different coats of this just to make it look super, super pigmented and concentrated, and also make sure that those glitters are mixing really well. When I do glitter ombres, I like to take a color similar to the Aurora one and just go over the entire nail when I'm done. This is going to camouflage and blend together all of the different glitter mixes and make the center line where the 2 colors kind of meet a little less defined, which is exactly what I'm going for. Now you could stop here and this would be a great nail or accent nail, but I decided to add some stamping on top of it too. So I'm going to go in with my top gloss and just top gloss over this entire design so there's no lumpy and bumpies before I go in with my stamping. Sweet Swirls plate, it is one of my hands down favorite stamping plates, and I'm going to take this little image on the side here. I love using this to kind of separate 2 different colors because of how it's placed. It works really well if you just kind of put it down where the line of separation is. So I'm going to take a white stamping polish. A black would work really good with this too, or even like a gold, but I wanted to use white so that it would really stand out. So I'm just going to add my stamping polish, scrape it off, and then I'm going to take the big Bling Stamper, which is the one that I like to use if I'm going to do an image that covers the entire nail. And I'm just going to place it down where that separation kind of meets. The nice thing about this is if you had a little bit of problems getting a really nice true ombre effect, this kind of covers that up a little bit, but still adds a little bit of interest with applying the stamp to it as well. So after this has dried, I'm just going to go in with my top gloss cure, and this nail design is done. I actually really love how this came out. I love how I incorporated some really fine glitters to this, and once you take a look at it as a whole here, it kind of just looks seamless with how it applied with the stamping polish as well. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it gave you some tips and tricks on how to work with some of these fine glitter gel polishes. Sometimes they can be a little bit of a struggle to get them to look super concentrated, but there are some tips and tricks that you can do. Or if you're unable to get like that true ombre effect, I hope my tutorial at the end gave you an idea of how to kind of camouflage that too. Make sure you guys are following me on all my social media, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!